Afropolitan Explosiv is about artistic events and creating artistic events and SME opportunities in the creative sector so that we can find a way to create opportunities for employment, opportunities that are a platform for artists. And also we're always looking for partners to work with in creating these types of events and SME opportunities in the arts sector, so that artists continuously, whether it's at the forefront or at the back, in the background, continuously have work to do, and even if it's seasonal employment or your short-term employment, that there's consistently opportunities on an annual basis. Ukubona Kabusha is a showcase that was actually launched. The name of it was launched in 2023 after we did a workshop with ladies that were crafters, bead crafters, and they came up with the name. I asked them to come up with a name for their project, and they called their project Ukubona Kabusha, and we liked the name. And we continued with it because we liked the allusion of what the name was saying, and speaking about a new vision. And so fast forward to 2025, and we are doing a showcase, and we wanted to also call it Ukubona Kabusha because we had a vision of creating something new, something that we hadn't done before, building on top of what we'd done before, a new vision. So we put together this showcase that is called Ukubona Kabusha, that was film-centered, and we decided that we're going to do it between the 5th to the 7th of June 2025, and we were doing a film-centered festival and showcase. So film was the central focus of the festival and the showcase, but obviously in order to showcase there had to be other talents surrounding film. So we had poets come in, we had singers, rappers, musicians, instrumentalists, dancers, and drama practitioners come in to partake as part of the showcase. So we did that between, again, the 5th and the 7th of June 2025. We had it at 3 different venues in and around Newcastle, here in Amajuba district, and we did one at an outdoors, indoors, chill venue based in Newcastle. And then the second day we did it, we had an event or an intervention at the St. Anthony's home. And then the last event was held, which was the launching event, which was the big event, which had lots of artists performing and also had crafters exhibiting, fine artists exhibiting as well. That was launched on the 7th of June at Farmers Hall. So I'm going to tell you a little bit more about what happened on each day. At the first venue, We had a film screening. We film screened Sheriff Keita's Ukubona Kabusha, and we also screened Dr. Thokozani Mhlambi's film Changing Faces, and then there was discussion around those two films. There was also performances and entertainment that came along with that evening. So the second evening, when we were visiting with the children at St. Anthony's Children's Home, we held an event where we were sharing dinner with them. So we brought some food for the children as part of our charity contribution to the home, because it is an orphanage. And then we then had a program that included poetry by Nkondlo, but also there were two children from the orphanage who partook and presented their own poetry that they had been practicing. So that was quite interesting to see that these are not just orphans, that's not their identity, but they are all these other things. They're artists, they're creatives, they're rappers, they're musicians, they do all these other things. And they're very talented, so we enjoyed seeing that from them. And it was just an amazing evening where there was also a film screened as well, and they enjoyed the Q&A after that, and just interacting and thinking about the themes and the story that was shared with them. And I think they also liked the idea of having a say and being asked for their opinions and thoughts and sharing that. So that was very interesting and very just fulfilling for everyone who did go to attend the event. The two films that we were showcasing on this big launch day, which was the 7th of June, were Milisutando Bongela's Milisutando, which is a self-portrait about herself growing up in apartheid but not really realizing, and then reflecting now as an adult and looking back on what her life was and what this all means now that she's able to reflect and understand with the context of history. A second film we watched was Ukubona Kabusha by Sheriff Keita. We watched this film throughout the festival because this film was actually was made here in KZN, and it was about a story of a historic figure, who went missing in history. Her activities and her agency, she went missing in history. So it was about the resuming of her story, but also finding her literal grave and restoring her dignity to her, because she died unknown, although she had contributed a lot to the South African creative and composition and writing scene in an endeavor to create culture that was African already in the early 1900s. So that's what we did in the Amajuba leg of Ukubona Kabusha. I want to say that a type of artists that came, they were from places like Danauza, places like Ladysmith, places like Charlestown. So there were also a number of other districts and municipalities that came in to participate and also take part in and join the lineup for presenting and showcasing and exhibiting. Also, during the evening of the final showcase, which was on the 7th, we had craft women, people who were selling beads, who were selling silver jewelry, and also were showcasing their fine art. We had them exhibiting. So it wasn't just watching the film and having conversations and discussions, but there were also exhibitions, and there were also showcases in the sense of exhibitions. So that was quite multifaceted, and we always try to always have a portion of our interventions whereby we do share supper. So there was food that was served, and during the intervals, so that people weren't there for a long time and didn't have any kind of refreshments. So we also had that.
Kuvumele ukwenza kokusha ngakho vumelani ukwenzeka kwenzeke ngaphandle kokwenameka imibala nokuphikaphika philani nikhona.
So as we have been covering the entire province of KZN and taking Ukubona Kabusha on the road, we have covered 4 districts and 2 provinces. So the 4 districts are Alfred Duma and Ladysmith, and Danhausen, Newcastle, which were in Amajuba district, Hendrina, which is in Gangala district, and Vryheid in Abaqolosi district. And the 2 provinces obviously are KZN and Mpumalanga. So the second phase of Ukubona Kabusha, we decided to take it to Mpumalanga, Hendrina in Mpumalanga, and we had our Ukubona Kabusha showcase in a location there called KwaZamokuhle. There, obviously, we also again had a showcase of films, the films that we had showed here. Sheriff Gator's Ukukhumbula Nokutela, as well as Milisutando's Milisuthando. So this was a very interesting one because a lot of the performances were high school kids, so there was a lot of vibrance and fun in the atmosphere, and there was performances, dancing. There were also cultural groups, which was very unique to this particular town, is that there was cultural groups that were performing, and there was also just a lot of traditional, very cultural, very artistic aspects that were different from Amajuba district. So that was a very interesting contrast to have between the 2 provinces. By the time we got to Hendrina KwaZamokuhle, we had aimed to employ and assist at least 100 artists. But by the time we got to this second phase, Sia Hendrina KwaZamokuhle, we had exceeded the numbers that we had aimed for, because the numbers were very many Hendrina. And again, the program was very much film-centered, and there was the performances, and we made sure that the name of Afropolitan Explosiv was being established so that it can go viral, that it can be remembered, so that they can share and tag us on our social media platforms. So it was just also our way of introducing ourselves to a new part of South Africa, and just extending our footprint. And what we found is that there is a huge demand for it, and that we are going in the correct direction, because there's a lot of creativity, there's a lot of art, and people are looking for platforms such as Ukubona Kabusha to be able to showcase that in a curated way, and in a way that's put together such that communities know and the artists come to communicate and interact and share tips and and come together to be able to grow together as artists from the same area. So yes, we exceeded our expectations and our numbers that we had gone for in assisting and employing artists. So in the sense of meeting, what Afropolitan is about is that we then were able to create these opportunities, that we're able to create seasonal work, as well as just even day work for artists, being able to participate and see how the industry works and see it at work and see themselves work within it and get some kind of compensation for it. So we were very happy to be able to achieve that as Afropolitan Explosiv. Our main sponsor for Ukubona Kabusha Showcase 2025 has been the National Film and Video Foundation, and we were able to then raise more funds and onboard more sponsors and supporters to come on board and stakeholders to come on board. And one of the other stakeholders who came on board and greatly supported us in our second leg, Hendrina Kwasamokukle, with catering was Net 99. They came on board and were able to sponsor our catering. And then Amajuba municipality sponsored us with the venue that we used for the launch event, which was on the 7th of June 2025. And the other municipalities that we've worked with and districts that we've worked with have also been typically great at assisting us in the ways that they can assist based on their limitations or based on their vast availability. They're able to assist us. So we've been very grateful to not only work with one major stakeholder, which is very important, but also to onboard more stakeholders and raise more funds to bring to the table to our project. So yeah, that has been very interesting and encouraging as well to the staff to find that they can also take initiative and raise funds and knock on doors and pound the pavement so that there's a greater funding to work with in order to do more, for the aims and the vision of Afropolitan Explosiv in creating events and opportunities for artists to be able to work on an annual basis, whether it's seasonally, whether it's a one-day thing or whether it's a short contract, at least have that annual expectation that there's something that's going to happen every year. If anyone wants to get in contact with us, they can reach us at www.afropolitanexplosiv.co.za. That's our website. And there you'll find all our flagship projects. You'll find all the work that we are doing. It's a profile really of the organization. So you'll be able to find a lot there that will help you make sense of who Afropolitan Explosiv is and what Afropolitan Explosiv does. We are also present on the social media platforms such as TikTok. You can find us on TikTok at Afropolitan. Let me see. It says, it's Twitter. On TikTok, you can find us on TikTok. So we are also present on the social media platforms. We are on TikTok as Afropolitan.explo. And then on Facebook, we are at Afropolitan Explosiv. And then on IG, we are Afropolitan Explosiv. So you can follow us there. We usually post pictures and videos, short videos there, short live videos. And a lot of our e-posters, we do post on there as well, and just various social media things to keep engagement alive, and also to get to know who our following is and our community is. That's where you will find Afropolitan Explosiv. We also do want to always thank the community for showing up, because they're the silent partner, because if they don't show up, then, So we also do want to always thank the community and acknowledge the communities that we do make interventions in, for always showing up and participating and bringing out their gifts and time, and just making sure that these showcases are showcases that where they can participate in the legacy of the cultural creation that they have brought into their own communities in their own time, in the era that they're now living in. So yeah, we always do like to acknowledge the communities and keep working.